All right, guys, let's do a fall cover crop update. So with the pasture out here, we'll start at this cover crop experiment. We finally got some good wreath growth going. You can see this is just where I spread a bale. I just took a bale and didn't even use the ring. Just left the bale there, let them eat on it, and then I took the loader and knocked it around so they can lay on it, pee on it, poop on it. There's going to be a hot spot next spring. But the regrowth finally came in. We had enough dryness in July and August that the pasture was green, but it just wasn't regrowing very well. And now that it cooled down, some moisture, we got a lot of moisture going on right now. So now you can see a lot of regrowth happening. I'm surprised that the oilseed radishes are even coming back. So that's kind of good. You got a lot of alfalfa coming up through. Some oat grass even come through from the volunteer oat. A lot of ryegrass coming through. You got a good, thick, dense canopy. Well, not right here. This is a feeding lane. So I've been keeping their bedding spot and their feeding. I'm moving down this lane, so next Monday I'll move him over here and move the wagon. I just swing a quick 180 in its own turning radius, and then I'll move their bale a little bit. Well, the bale looks good. They haven't got that trampled down too bad around it. The key thing here for this first 40 or 50 feet is to not allow too much compaction, but get as much urine where the nitrogen and the manure on this as we can, because this first 40 to 60 feet is my high yield spot next year. That's where we're going to go for, see if we can't hit 400 bushel. Maybe we'll hit 250, but we're going to try for 400. So it's important to make sure this spot really stays in good shape. But yeah, the growth out here, it's looking good. I'm super happy now that it's starting to come around. Like I said, I was kind of nervous there for a while because it wasn't making sense. We had good moisture, but I almost wonder if, you know, there's some yellowness out here, but a guy could probably benefit by throwing a little bit of some nitrogen out here to green it up. But we got killing frost tonight too, so I don't know how killing it is. This is a thick, dense mat close to the ground. It'll probably be just fine. But yeah, it's just a cover crop, I guess. We don't have to get too carried away about it. I'm just happy that it's there. Did some shovel tests and soil probe tests, and the profile's still very mellow. It's doing what I wanted to do. It's feeding the steers, and it's feeding the soil, and it's correcting the soil. So, yep, this cover crop's working great. Got some good regrowth, and we'll have green going into the winter. Let's check the other stuff. All right, so here's the cornfield where we did the cover crops into, and here you can clearly see a lot of sunlight here. Them are big radish. My boot's 17 inches, and then one leaf is 17 inches. So they're coming in good. They should be starting to fill. Oh, look at that one actually vined out. I suppose with all this grass. Look at this gorgeous grass. Here's some vetch. There's some big vetch. See how it gets viney. You'll chase. You could spend a week trying to chase that thing back to its roots. But, you know, if they were growing companion crop together, one, what an awesome silage that would make, because vetch is a very good feed quality. And two, you'd get a little extra tonnage on a per acre basis. And the other thing is if we ran cattle, if you run cattle through here, look at all this behind the combine, if you had all this green. But this is in sunlight. Let me pause the camera and see what it looks like down the rows. So coming down the row, you can see like right here it's real thin, and then ahead of me it just gets thick as heck, and it's kind of variable across here, and that might be part to do with the little spinner spreader I use, and it might be part to do with sunlight or whatever. But you know, you got a little radish up there, you got some small vetch coming in, and so I think obviously where it's thicker we get better growth. So I don't know, I think next year we can run a similar mix. A grazer mix, I think, is what I'm going to start running. So this will be corn next year, and then just on the other side of the on the other side of this field would be pasture for the cows to start grazing. So I'll put a grazer mix in here, and I'm going to come in real early when that corn is small. I'm going to come in real early, seed a grazing mix. So then behind the combine, them cattle can graze the corn stalks and their normal fodder like normal. Except we'll have a lot of green, hopefully a lot of green and good value for them as well. So then when they come off that pasture onto the corn stalks, then the steers can then stay on that pasture after weaning and then that pasture becomes the pasture for the steers for the winter. But you look at the worms, at the amount of worms life here, this is just unreal. I mean, you got a mound, a literal mound here that's maybe an inch tall, but just of pure worm castings. And I don't know what it is with these grasses and cereal grains, but like this is ryegrass and some oat grass, and the oats and small grains themselves, that soil life just loves it so much. But I mean, you look everywhere, it is just worm castings everywhere. That is just awesome. Here's last year's corn stump. I mean, it is just cool to see this ground just come to life. That's mineralization of our nutrients and stuff, you know. That's helping me in 10, 15 years. That's where I don't have to go to the co-op so much, and that's where we get ears that are just like a baseball bat. But no, I'm really excited. I'm excited. But yeah, all right. Well, let's go check the next one. The neighbor's field that's letting me spread some cover crop here so we can do an experiment. So behind the small grains, we put in that green manure mix where it's lots of rye. There's probably going to be the little volunteer oats because we combine oats, tillage radish, and hairy vetch. We can see, you know, the tillage radish, they're starting to do something. Where we got, there's some hairy vetch somewhere. There's some tiny hairy vetch coming. The hairy vetch is slow to get going. There's some more right there on that stubble. So it's getting going. It might not be as good of a cool season crop as I want it to be, but live and learn. Who knows? We'll see what happens when the true major killing frost comes in. But it's looking good here. It's getting pretty thick out there. So yeah, it's going. Then we need to do some experiments as to would we be better off going into before the oats or the small grain is done. Do you dare go in and make a couple passes with a broadcaster and get it? That way it's got more time to get going. I don't think that's such a bad idea, but we're gonna find out. He's got the turkey litter out here, so this field turkey litter plus this little bit of a green crop going. Man, oh man, this field's gonna fast forward 3 years or 4 years compared to just a no-till field. You know, what's funny is in this oats, you can see the hairy vetch trying to climb out of the oats everywhere. So yeah, that's nice, thick. Really, that's gonna get working in that field. So yeah, yep, I'm really happy with these couple cover crop mixes. Next year we got a whole lot more to do, and next year we can get the data off of this year's stuff, like this field here. Not the most exciting video, but it is what it is, you know. I guess that's just a quick update of the couple cover crop things we got going into winter. And guys, I thank you very much. I will leave you at that. And like always, hit the subscribe button and get yapping in the comments section below. And I will figure out another update for you. Thank you, guys.